Good morning to all the participants who joined us. Respected Professor Viswanath Swain, we welcome you, sir, and we are honored that you could find time for us. Before I hand over the session to Dr. Swain, I would take a minute to introduce him to the participants. Dr. Viswanath Swain is currently working as an assistant professor of ethics in the area of humanities and social sciences at the Indian Institute of Management, Indore. Sir has earned his PhD degree from IIT Kanpur and MA and MPhil from University of Hyderabad. Sir's teaching career is spanning over more than a decade, and he's engaged in teaching courses like ethics in business management, ethics and corporate social responsibility, marketing ethics, ethics and society, etc. at IIM Indore. Sir's research primarily focuses on issues in core ethics, philosophy of action and agency, ethics and corporate social responsibility, marketing ethics, and ethics and organization. His research is published in journals including the Journal of Business Ethics, and his solo as well as co-authored research papers are presented at various international conferences, which are being held in countries like Australia, France, Germany, Japan, Malaysia, Spain, UK, and USA, along with the presentations at premier academic institutes in India. Sir has been associated with some of the reputable academic societies and association, and also he's associated with International Journal of Corporate Social Responsibility, a Springer publication, by being a member in its editorial board. We welcome you, sir, and we are honored to have you with us. Sir, the scheme of the session that we generally follow is that we'll first have your session and the last segment would be for Q&A. Sure. If that's okay to you, or you can modify it as
perfectly fine. So I will go 1 hour, then 15 minutes or so for the discussion. Would you something
yes,
like?
Okay. Yes, okay. That would be fine. Okay.
So first of all, it's a great pleasure to be part of this particular program, and a wonderful introduction you have already given. So I'm touched by that, and so I'll start sharing my slides. So hope it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. And as I mentioned, it's a great pleasure to part of this particular program. And also more than that, it's a great pleasure to talk to you all on a topic which is close to my heart, business ethics or ethics in business. Okay. So during this discussion, I will give you a lot of examples, instances, and if you have any doubt, anything, you can note it down and you can share with me later. Or if there is there is something what you need a quick response, you can ask me. Okay. So already I have shared what exactly I'll be talking about in general. Business ethics is a vast topic. It's a big topic, but I have tried to touch upon some of the things which are quintessential to look into business ethics from a particular angle. So the prime objective of the given session is something like this. We are going to appreciate the stance that says that there is a significance of ethics for sustainable business organization. Okay, I'm using a word or a concept called sustainable. Business organization needs to be sustainable. Why it is so? Before that, I'll share with you something a little different. As you know, everyone wants to be successful, isn't it? Everyone, be a teacher, be a student, be a faculty member, be a family member, be a manager, be an executive, be a chief executive officer, so on and so forth. Because we are passing through different forms of life across our life. You see, I am a faculty member at IIM Indore. I am also husband of a particular person. I am also a father of a particular person. I am also a teacher of a particular group of people. And now here also, I'm having a different form of life and sharing with you something which is utile in the context of business ethics. So each form of life, what we have or what we pass through, needs to be successful or needs to achieve the state of successfulness. Okay. And as you know, the state of successfulness could be the beginning of anything, beginning of something. But we do not end with the state of successfulness. Rather, we have to be successful across time. That's the concept which is technically known as sustainability, the state of sustainability. That means there is a pathway which starts from the state of successfulness to the state of sustainability. And this pathway is not very easy. At the same time, it's not that much difficult as well. Okay, this pathway goes from the state of successfulness to the state of sustainability. That means we have to be successful across time. If we could be successful across time, we can be considered as a wonderful person with regard to that given form of life. It could be a manager, it could be a marketer, it could be whatever the different forms of life, what I said with you. And who facilitates this or who has an impact on this one? The impact is coming from the stance that if the person concerned is exhibiting ethical or moral actions or decisions towards its stakeholders. In the context of the organization, in the context of a business organization, who are the stakeholders? The customers, the first ranking stakeholders or the front ranking stakeholders. Then who comes? Employees, competitors, shareholders, society in general, ecology, and many people. The value chain, many people are there. To become a sustainable business organization, each and every individual within that organization or the organization in general has to extend or has to bring about consistently ethical, moral actions and decisions to them or towards them. If someone could do this one, it has a gigantic positive impact on the pathway, which goes from the state of successfulness to the state of sustainability. If this is missing, which one? If there is no ethical action, if there is no ethical decision with regard to the stakeholders, what would happen? This would result in the negative impact on the pathway. Serious negative impact on the pathway, which starts from the state of successfulness to the state of sustainability. So because of that, what would happen? The state of sustainability would become like a distant mirage. You must have seen distant mirage. What exactly happens? Let's say you are going down the track, down the lane. You are really thirsty, and you find 500 meters away, 500 meters before you, you perceive that there is water. So you are so gleeful, you are so happy that water is there, I will drink. But when you reach that place, you don't find water. That's a wave which is coming out because of the impact of the sun rays. Okay, the state of sustainability becomes like that. The state of sustainability becomes the story of our grandparents. I'm putting in a different way, in a lighter way. What exactly the grandparents' stories? You must have seen the grandparents used to tell the stories to us. Once upon a time, there was a king. The king was having 2 daughters, 2 sons. He was having big kingdom. Once upon a time. That means the organization, the business organization, who doesn't have the potential, who doesn't have the inclination to do certain ethical actions and decisions towards the stakeholders, for them, the state of sustainability will become like impossible. Okay. So in this context, I'll share with you who are the stakeholders with regard to the business organization concerned. Okay, who are the stakeholders? The business organization is at the core, is at the center. Okay, and who are the stakeholders? The first stakeholder is the employees. It is usually considered employees are the backbone of a particular organization. Without employees, an organization cannot exist at all, cannot prosper at all, cannot excel at all. So the employees are the first rank stakeholders. But the question comes over, why the employees for a business organization? What exactly they're doing? They're producing something. They're helping you to produce something. And these products are demanded, desired, or expected by the customers. Okay. And apart from the employees, there's a big chain. And who is there in the chain? Who are there in the chain? The chain is technically known as value chain, and this is something known as channel of a distribution. Okay, which ends with retailer or dealer and begins with the manufacturer. Before him or her, there could be the supplier, there could be different other people. In between, many people are there. So this channel of a distribution has an impact on the business organization sustainability. That's why the business organization has to look into the well-being of the value chain as well. Third one, the client organization. The different organizations which are there, which are directly, indirectly helping you out. So those things again are coming into the domain of stakeholders. Then the competitor. The competitors are the ones that no business organization wants. But at the same time, it is required. Why it is required? Because competitors would make you innovate. Competitors would make you think something out of the box. So from the positive side, competitors are the people who make you grow as well. So that's why there are certain kind of stakes. There are certain kinds of expectations which are there from them. It has to be achieved. Then ecology. Ecology is something which is also a kind of thing which expects something from you. What happens?
I would request you to share it once again because there are some participants who have noted on your screen.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yes,
so what happens? Ecology, for example, ecology means environment and so on and so forth. So business organization has a big step towards them as well. And as I said with you, in the end, the customers and you have a wonderful relationship in the context of the state of sustainability. So now let's see what are the unethical practices which are happening in the context of the relationship between the business organization on one side, employees, value chain, client organization, competitor, ecology, and customers on the other side. Let's see. Let's begin with the employees and the business organization. What exactly happens during that time? As I shared with you, that employees are the backbone of a business organization. They help you produce the desired item, or they help you come up with certain services which the customers need, customers demand, customers want. Okay, so that's why they have a wonderful relationship. But what are the unethical practices which are happening in this given context? The first one is that unfair dismissal. How does it happen? Unfair dismissal happens, let's say for the last several days, several years, you have been there with this given company, in this company. All of a sudden, today morning, you find a letter which says that your performance is not satisfactory. And because of that, you are fired. You might be asking, sir, फिर मैं last 15 साल हो गया मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. You didn't reveal all these things. Or where the problem lies, you didn't inform me, but all of a sudden you are giving me a letter or you are asking me to resign. This is unfair dismissal because there is no fair conditions, terms, and so on and so forth behind the dismissal. Second one, the sweatshop. What sweatshop happens? How does it happen? The employees will be asked to work more than the expected hours or the desired hours or the legally termed hours. Let's say the employees are asked to do 14 hours instead of 8 hours, which are written in their appointment letter. These 6 hours they are doing, but the 6 hours are not paid by the organization. Apart from that one, certain times the working conditions which are there around with the employees are very, very bad, unhealthy working condition. And because of that one, what happens? The concept comes out from here, that's sweatshop. You are treating the business organization, is treating its backbone in a very bad way, in an unethical way. Coming to the next one, it's discrimination, which could be happening in two ways: prejudice based, non-prejudice based. Prejudice based, as you know, in India particularly, there's a wonderful thing or very bad thing happens in India called racial discrimination, color discrimination, gender discrimination, and different other forms of discrimination. And these discriminations are prejudice based, socially prejudice, psychological prejudice. Somehow in the society we have found there is a kind of a reservation against one particular race, particular religion, particular gender, or particular color. So this kind of prejudice comes into your mind, and because of that, certain times the HR manager could be discriminating one individual, and on the basis of that one, certain times the person is being fired or demoted in a given position. NPD, non-prejudice based. How does it happen? Let's say two people are there from one institute, like what many of you must be. Two people are from the same institute, let's say X and Y. X has joined a company, Y didn't join. Maybe Y thought I would go for my higher education, or my parents are not in need of the job, so I'll do something else, or I'll start my own business. But later it is found that Y is joining the company where X has already been there. But somehow, let's say X, Y doesn't have or didn't have a good relationship, wonderful relationship when they are at the academic institute. So now X takes a grudge against Y. That's called non-prejudice. Here, prejudice is not coming into picture, rather personal kind of relationship coming into picture. Because of that, certain times the discrimination is happening, and because of that one, the firing, hiring, resigning, and so on and so forth is happening. That's unethical once again. Coming to unjust and ill treatment, which could be regarded with regard to the hiring, or which could be regarded to the promotion, which could be regarded with appreciation, award, and so on and so forth. So this unjust and ill treatment could be also taking a turn in a very wrong way. And because of that, certain times what happens? The relationship between business organization and the employees are getting or are taking a different turn altogether. Okay. And because of that, employees are finding very, very bad when they're working for a particular business organization. Now I'm taking you another set of stakeholders called customers. As you know, if there's no customer, or if there is no concept of customer, the concept of business organization doesn't hold at all. So that means there is a wonderful relationship between business organization and the customer, and the relationship is business organization is coming up with a particular product or service, and they're expecting a return, particularly in terms of money, what the customers will be paying. So in that way, the relationship is happening, and in that way or through that way, different other things are coming out. For example, image, brand image. Because of that sales game, because of that market share, because of that many things are coming out of this link, this relationship. Now the question is coming here: what are the unethical practices which are happening towards the customers extended by the business organizations? The first one I'm putting over here, unsafe and poor product. I think almost all of you must be aware of many things what is happening around across time. We end up with buying an unsafe product or poor product which we didn't expect at all. After paying, let's say 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 rupees, if the product is of poor quality, you are so unhappy. You are so distressed. Because of that, what is happening? You are spreading the rumor. You are sharing with your fellow beings. ये जो product मत खरीद के मत करो. Very bad company. And who is at the receiving end? At the end of the process, towards the end of the process, the business organization. Then what comes? Price gouging. That's a technical concept which is happening over here. I'll give you an example. In certain contexts like natural calamities, let's say cyclone, flood, so on and so forth, what happens? Certain times what happens? Certain organizations, certain outlets, certain shops charge a particular product with a big amount, which is not the cost of that product. Let's say in one state or in one place, the flood along with cyclone is there. So people are worried about the water. They cannot have the luxury to buy big cannons of water which are coming from Nestle and different other companies. So what they could do, they could take water from the water tap or the water which is being provided by the local body, government, and so on and so forth. Certain times the people who are coming from outside, they are not aware of where the tap is there, where the water is being provided, and so on and so forth. What they would do, they'd go to buy the water bottle from a particular outlet, let's say. So when the customer goes to the outlet to buy certain water bottles for his family members like daughter, son, wife, and so on and so forth, so he finds the salesperson in that outlet is charging 150 rupees for that water bottle. Actual price is 15 rupees or 20 rupees. 150 rupees or 200 rupees. If the person is having money, is wealthy, well off, then he can buy or she can buy. But let's say the people who are from the rural areas or who do not have the affordability, what would happen? They cannot buy the product over there, which is really needed for that given person. So that means what is happening? The organization over here, the outlet over there is gouging the price from the customer forcefully. Even if you do not want to buy, but the condition is forcing you to buy by paying that given price. That's something what is happening. Market scheming, how does it happen? Around the same thing happens. In the context of market scheming, the marketer or the organization charges the product with an exorbitant price. Instead of 10 rupees, 15 rupees, which is the cost of the product, it charges, let's say, 500 rupees, 600 rupees, because this is the product which the customers were requiring for, they're expecting for. In addition to that, the business organization thinks this is a wonderful time. As much as possible, we would accumulate money, because no competitor has come up with a product like that. So that means you are charging a particular product with that price, which is difficult for the customers to afford, but at the same time, they are forced to afford or they are forced to buy because they need certain kind of items like that. And it happens in the context of AIDS drug or the drugs which are curing the very unexpected disease or very bad disease which is happening across the world. Non-price increasing. I'll give you another example. How does it happen in the non-price increasing? Let's say you went to a mall, and in the mall, let's say I will give you two time frames, and the time frame X, time frame Y. In the time frame X, let's say you purchase certain chip packets, potato chips packet. Okay. How much you paid? Let's say 20 rupees. And you purchased 5 to 10 packets and started consuming that when you are watching, let's say IPL, or let's say some this French Open or so on and so forth. You are enjoying with your friends. Let's say the time frame why you went to that mall or to a different mall. You purchase the same brand product, same company's product. Let's say the gap is 6 months or 10 or 5 months or 10 months or so. When you purchase the product of that same kind, you pay 20 rupees. The package size is same, color is same, labeling is same, everything is same. You paid 20 rupees because you didn't have any doubt. You paid 20 rupees, you came out. When you are consuming that potato chips, you found out of curiosity, you started looking into the gram it has, the quantity it has. Unfortunately, found the quantity this time is 12 grams instead of 20 grams what you purchased last time. That means what is happening? The price is not increasing or decreasing, rather the quantity is getting decreased across time. And the customer is not aware. If the customer would have been aware, and if he would have or she would have purchased this one, there's no problem. So that means the non-price increasing happens with many people who are not aware of that one. Puffery or deception. As you know, deceptive techniques which are taken by or used by the business organizations are rampant, pervasive. They would deceive the customer to buy a certain item, but which is not a fact at all. And puffery, which is an embellishment, exaggeration around a given product. This is the wonderful product, the best service we can give you. Overlooking, hiding the bad things which could be there linked with the given product or the service. More embellishment, less or no, not at all on the negative things which are happening with the given product. Intrusion into privacy. You must have seen that at, let's say, 10 p.m. you are having your dinner with your parents or with your family members. You get a call. Madam or sir, we have a wonderful product for you, and it is perfectly meeting or it is perfectly fitting into your expectation or the demand. So please take this product into consideration, and if you think we'll meet you tomorrow. If the product is like let's say a car or related to an insurance and so on and so forth, but if the product is related to a disease that the person concerned doesn't want to reveal, or the person concerned is really worried about but not interested to reveal or share with anyone, he gets or she gets a disrespect kind of thing, distrust kind of thing, or a kind of disbelief that how this guy got to know that I am having this disease or so on and so forth. And it happens through the internet, because as you know, the spams, different other things comes out. You click on that one unknowingly and it goes into them. Or let's say you are surfing your net from one side to another, and through that one, the market or the business organization could get to know that what you are exactly looking at. And through that one, and from that one, they are getting certain information, and through that one, on the basis of that one, they are calling you. Targeting non-MMPs. Non-MMPs means non-morally matured persons. Who are non-morally matured persons? The people like the kids, the teens, old people who do not have the cognitive ability to choose, cognitive ability to decide, cognitive ability for the problem solving. So certain times those people are targeted by the business organization. In what way? Let's say the kids are playing or merged with or glued to, let's say, certain games. As you know, if the kids during this pandemic and after the pandemic also, if the kids are really glued to different games one after the other. Certain times what happens, certain advertisement comes out over there, one after the other. And the kid is looking into that one. Oh, this is a wonderful product. Ah, nice product. मैं मेरा पापा को बोलूंगा खरीद करने के लिए. So now let's say, how does it happen? The kid now pressurizes the parents. पापा मुझे ये वाला product चाहिए. And we are emotional beings. We are emotional beings, and because of that, one certain times the parents are forced to buy certain items, which are being pressurized by the kid. So that means targeting the non-MMP is also a technique, but it has having certain time negative impact on the people. Then next one, what is coming here? Targeting MI and FI. Who is that MI? Market illiterates. Who is FI? Functional illiterates. What is market illiterate? You would get astonished to know that there are many people in our country like India, and there are many people in various emerging economies who do not know how the market is functioning. A wonderful example is Sarandascam. What people were told, you will be spending 2,000 rupees today, you will be investing 5,000 rupees today. After 5 years, you will be getting 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 13 lakhs, 2 lakhs, or so on and so forth. And why they are entrapped into that one? Because they are functional illiterate, they are market illiterate. They do not know how the market is functioning. Whether their money is related to stock market, whether their money is related to some kind of investment, they are not aware. Because they need quick money, because they are poor people, they are innocent people. So those people are certain times targeted. And who is the functional illiterate? As you know, each product is having a number of attributes of the functions. Certain people are worried about only 1 or 2 functions, not many. You people and I also were worried about many things apart from the unique attribute or one of the hyped kind of attribute. For example, when you are buying a water bottle, for example, I'll show you. Let's say I'm buying a water bottle from, let's say this is near the station or at the station. So after purchasing a water bottle, if the person is demanding or the salesperson is asking you, please, sir, please pay 20 rupees. So you are looking at the labeling, ये 20 rupees क्यों ले रहा है? So you see that it is having added minerals, it has added vitamins, the water is pure coming from Himalaya, and the bottle is made of virgin plastic. And this company was founded in 1923. And the size of the bottle in a particular way, very decorative. There are different functions of a particular product. What happens? Certain times, we the people, particularly you and me, could be worried about different other attributes. For you think about the poor people who do not know all these things. They would be buying a water bottle only because it will quench their thirst. So such people are targeted by the business organization knowingly, deliberately, so that their products are being sold out without any difficulty. Coming to the next channel of distribution. What is channel of distribution? As I said with you, channel of distribution begins with the marketer, the manufacturer, ends with the retailer or the distributor. In between, many people are there. It could be before even the manufacturer, even the supplier could be there. So since the channel of a distribution is adding a prime value to the business organization, channel of a distribution is technically known as value chain. Okay. And what are the unethical practices happening in their relationship from extended by the business organization? The first one I would like to share with you, the dropshipping. How dropshipping happens? Dropshipping happens, let's say you are the customer, there is another company who has opened one, let's say an website. You can see the products over there in the digital marketing. And on the other side, who is the supplier? The supplier could be the people who are the self-help groups. The supplier could be the small scale industries who do not have the potential, who do not have the power to market their product. So through the dropshipper, these people could make the products available to the customers. Let's say it's a wonderful one, and through that one the products could be sold. But certain times what happens, the customers are, let's say, paying 200 rupees for a packet of papad. Okay, and that papad, let's say, has been produced by a group of self-help group people, and the dropshipper in between the customer and the supplier. What dropshipper does, it takes 200 rupees from the customer and gives 20-50 rupees to the supplier. But the cost of the production is actually 100 rupees, let's say, or 80 rupees, let's say. If these poor suppliers are paid 20 rupees, 50 rupees, what would happen? In the course of time, these guys will be wiped out from the market. They are the poor people. They are taking loan to produce these items, and they're expecting the right kind of payment from the dropshipper, but doesn't happen. So through that one, it disturbs the relationship between the business organization and the channel of distribution. Apart from that one, the customers in the course of time do not get the right kind of product what they would be looking for. Tying agreement, exclusive arrangement, and full line forcing, are these three things are related to each other. In the malls, you must have seen an organization gives you a time kind of thing, one product tying with many other products. Okay, 3 to 4 products which are tied with one kind of ribbon or kind of a thin polythene wrapping. So you are giving, let's say, 20 rupees for one particular item. So by paying 30 to 40 rupees, you are getting 5 to 6 items which are tied together. Why that is happening? The customer is getting benefited because these products have to be sold. But what happens in the background? The manufacturer tells the mall, the retailer or the dealer or the outlet tells that you have to take all the products from mine, all the product lines from me. Then only I will give you the product which is having demand in the market. So what happens in the end? Kya kare? So since there is a demand, there is a pressure from the manufacturer. So what the dealers should do, or what the retailers should do, they would wrap up with small items which are not having demand in the market and give the customers with some kind of benefit out of this one, because the customers are not looking for those items which are tied down with the one which is having demand. So there is a loss for the retailer, and which is not taken care of, or which is not listened at all by the manufacturer. Exclusive arrangement. Exclusive arrangement happens with the freelance outlets or the freelance retailers. Particularly the freelance outlets, they do not have the terms and conditions to keep all the products of a manufacturer. But certain times what happens? The manufacturer tells that if you want to have this product X, you have to sell my product only. If you only sell my product only in your outlet, in your shop, I will give you the contract, or the contract is going to be enforced. Otherwise, I won't. So this exclusive arrangement is happening because of that. Certain times the retailer could be losing the market share, or could be losing certain customers who could be demanding the products from other companies, who could be having certain wonderful items. Full line forcing. Full line forcing is an extension of exclusive arrangement. The manufacturer will tell the retailer, you have to keep all the product lines, all the products from my company, the one which is having demand and the one which is not having demand. The problem is what? Certain times the manufacturer doesn't take the shock which is being borne by the retailer. And because of that, certain times the freelance outlets are having certain kind of problems. Third line forcing, it happens in the automobile industry or automobile companies. Certain times the manufacturer tells the dealer that you tell your customer and consumer to take the automobile, this car or that car, along with you tell them that they have to buy or purchase the insurance from this company, not that company, this company. Insurance from only X, not Y, not Z. But the customers, as you know, they would start, why should I buy insurance from X? Why can't I buy the insurance from Y? Why are you forcing me to buy the insurance from X? And because of that, I would be paying a little more. With less payment from B, or less payment from P, or less payment from Y, I'll be getting more coverage. Because of that, certain times what happens, the customers hesitate to buy a particular model of car from a particular outlet, the dealer. And it has a big kind of psychological problem or the psychological imbalance to the dealer, because they have to sell a particular quantity at the end of a particular year. So this third line forcing is creating problem for the dealer and the retailer, and a business organization doesn't have anything to say. They would say you have to sell. Otherwise, the contract is going to be curtailed from 3 years to 1 year or so on and so forth. There is another thing called ecology, and another stakeholder called ecology. What happens in the context of ecology? As you know, ecology is something, this O3, okay? What happens? Setting the pollution norms, polluting groundwater and natural resources. Lot of examples you must have seen in the last several decades or so. The business organizations will be using the water bodies, but they would be polluting the soil, polluting the other water bodies, where the people are where the common people are depending on, or what the common people are depending on. So because of that, certain times what happens, the company is growing up, but the people around the business organization are facing the problem. Apart from ecology is getting the problem, because the soil is getting destroyed, the water is getting destroyed, the air is getting destroyed. That's something what is happening. The last part of the stakeholder is competitor, supplier, and client organization. What happens? Slotting allowance. What exactly happens to the slotting allowance? As you know, the slotting allowance is the one, it is related to the shelf space in a particular outlet. You must have seen to you must have gone to many outlets, many malls. You must have seen that the products are decorated in a particular way across the shelves. And over here, there are two people which are here. Business organization, the producer could be there. And on the other side, the retailer, the dealer could be there. The producer, let's say X and Y. X should be telling to that retailer, please, the front shelf that you have in your outlet or in your mall to be given to me. Otherwise I would create a problem or something like, if the outlet or the mall is very small, not a big brand, what would happen? They would succumb to pressure which has been created by the producer. If it is a big malls, what happens? The producer X will tell the mall, I'm giving you big amount of money. Please you keep the competitor Y away, or you don't allow Y to buy the shelf space in your outlet. What would happen because of this one? The customers won't be getting the variety. The customers won't be getting the innovated quality or innovated product. At the same time, there would be oligopolistic market in the society. Predatory pricing, how does it happen? As you know, the predatory pricing means a marketer, a business organization sells a particular product below the cost or the cost of that particular product for a particular period of time. To do what? To keep the competitor away. It's a unethical practice. It's an illegal practice, but people do that one because they're worried about their own sales gain and market share. They're not worried about the societal benefit, societal growth. Collusion, it's an extension of predatory pricing. What happens in the collusion? 3 to 4 or 2 to 3, or the competing companies or the competing producers will be putting themselves together and deciding to sell a particular product with a given price or with a particular price that the competitor, the entrant, or the new person, the new organization cannot afford to sell with. What would happen? That entrant or the business organization will be away. And the collusion is creating a problem in the market for the customers and going against the fair competition. Corporate espionage, certain times, certain organizations are peeping into the plans and the decision-making things what the other organizations are involved in. Because of that, they could get to know certain strategies, certain plans, what the company X is doing, what Y could get to know later. Massaging the research result, as you know, marketing research is one of the techniques through which an organization or a business organization could get to know the demand of its particular product. And certain times after getting the result, the right kind of result, they don't reveal to the client organization because they think if we reveal the client organization the right kind of thing, there could be a possibility that the relationship could be broken. But that's not so. They paid you crores and crores rupees. The client organization has paid you crores and crores rupees. So they are expecting the right kind of information to them, whether that product is having demand in the market or not, whether the service is having a good demand in the market or not. So they are worried about that one. That because of that they have paid. Certain times, because of the pressure from the competitor, because of the payment from the big payment from the competitor, they don't reveal the truth. They tell a lie to the people. So that means what they're doing? They are breaching the trust between the client organization and the business organization. So I'll tell you certain examples over here, and the examples are something like this. The burning example is Volkswagen. Okay, before I begin all these organizations, first of all, I would, since it's ethics one, I do not have any ill intention or anything against any company. Rather, for our academic purpose, we are taking them for a small discussion. Okay, beyond that, we do not have any grudge. They are wonderful companies in general. They are only problematic in a certain context. So Volkswagen, as you know, and everyone is aware of what exactly happened in the past. What they did, they were found cheating the emission norms or pollution norms by using one chip. Okay, and because of that, at one point of time, 10 billion civil settlement was there. It's not a small amount or a big amount. It's really another piece of information I found, which says that Volkswagen on Monday reached $14.7 billion to settle the lawsuits. Once again, you think about the $14.7 billion is not a small company. It's a small amount, which shows that an organization could get the state of sustainability, but difficult to achieve the state of successfulness, but difficult to achieve the state of sustainability. Another organization, as you know, Nestle is a wonderful company. It's a great company. Its image is wonderful across the world, but something happened in India, if you remember, in 2014. Because of that one, at one point of time, if you look into the sales gain, in 2015, they are having the sales gain of 2011. The sales gain was having 19.8, but in 2015 it has come down to minus 17.2. Because they had to dump the products, waste the product, and you could see what this information says: $277 million at least in maize sales. $70 million was spent to execute one of the largest food recalls in the history, and something more again. If you look into the market share, in 2014, they are having the market share of 63%, but in 2015, they have come down to 23%. Why? Because of the certain unethical practice. And that means because of certain unethical practice, their pathway from the state of successfulness to the state of sustainability was not straightforward. It was problematic. I'm taking now the Turing Pharmaceutical Industry, another company. What this company was doing? This company was involved in producing a drug which was curing a particular disease. It was selling the drug with $13.50. But later it was found it was selling that same drug with 5,455% increase. That means $750. And it's a something which happened. And because of that one, the company was in big trouble and the person concerned also was in big trouble. So I found certain kind of information I would like to share with you. See, 1 in 2 consumers stuck with the high value defective products. Okay. And if you go down, you could see that 3 in 10 didn't get any assistance from the brand. 1 in 10 didn't approach the brand to fix the product locally. So that means you imagine what is happening in the Indian market. That means what is happening? They're breaching the trust between the customer, or the trust which has been developed between the business organization and the customer it has not taken the state of sustainability. Another one, something happening, that there is another one. I'm taking you another one called Sarandascam. I think everyone is quite aware of what happened in the Sarandascam. In the Sarandascam, you must have seen that this piece of information says the depositors or agents contributes that 1 million people, and people committed suicide 60 plus. But what exactly the truth you must be aware of. And who are the people who are the targeted people? The people like this: drivers, laborers, housemates, and so on and so forth. And who are these people? These people are market illiterates. These people are functional illiterates. They do not know how the market is functioning. They do not know how their 2,000 rupees is going to be 5,000 rupees or 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees. They're not aware. They've invested that, and in the course of time, what happens? That 2,000, 5,000 went where it went, no one knows. So there is another example I found in the context of Sweatshop, what Foxconn was doing, a subsidiary of Apple. The whole dormitory smells like garbage when I walk in. So that means unhealthy working condition, which was extended to the employees at the workplace. Okay, you think about it, we discussed that the Sweatshop and the relationship between employees and the business organizations. Coming to Facebook, of course, is a wonderful company. As you must have seen, everyone is having a Facebook account. It's so popular. But what exactly happened? They are really successful, but we are talking about the state of sustainability. You see this one. The fine, one of the largest regulatory penalty against Facebook by the European Union. And what's that? $19 million accusation and so on and so forth. Which shows that a company can be successful, but to achieve the sustainability, you have to be ethical, you have to be moral with regard to the stakeholders in general, and more particularly the employees, the customers, and different other people. Now we'll look into the outcome of the unethical practice. What exactly the outcome? Outcome is a big blast, bombard. What happens over here? The first one, if the business organization is involved in unethical practice, the first and foremost one, the lawsuit against the organization. That's definite. Second one, fine in terms of multi-crore and multi-billion. Third one, bankruptcy, a life or death situation for the employees and workers, furor in the society, taken over by others. If something is left, taken over by others. If nothing is left, it gets closed down. Imagine how it began, how a company begins its journey, and how it ends with. This is something what happens if the business organization, or if a business organization doesn't follow the ethical or the moral practice. Okay. So I have only 5 minutes more. because a little bit late. So within 5 minutes, I'll complete something, whatever. So now let's get into the step to sustainable business. What are the steps? The basic step of the executives of the change agent. I'm using a concept called change agent. In each organization, in each business organization, there are the people who are the intelligent ones. They are the executives who are the intelligent ones, astute ones, shrewd ones. But in spite of that, these change agents, these leaders, these executives do something unethical. And because of their practice, because of their actions, what happens? The organization results in, or the organization ends up with lawsuits. Okay. So how to be an ethical agent? So I'm sharing only one slide over here. First of all, the step one, we have to, the person concerned or the leader concerned or the executive concerned must have the potential to get rid of the ethical breakdowns. There are many ethical breakdowns which are happening across the globe by different companies. I'm listing out some of them and I would explain it in another 5 minutes. I will wind up. So first of all, these are the intelligent people. As I said with you, and you must have appreciated, you must have identified, you must have seen. All these people are intelligent people. Being intelligent is not the necessary, is not the sufficient one. It's necessary. What other things are expected from these intelligent people? They should not have these ethical breakdowns. The first ethical breakdown is loss aversion. So many of the intelligent people are having this problem called loss aversion. Somehow they have the hatredness towards the loss. They do not digest. They do not tolerate. They cannot tolerate the loss. And because of that, what happens? They're ending up with, or they end up with many unethical practices. Self-serving bias, quick promotion, maybe big market share, or maybe the wonderful organization within no time, maybe the more and more shareholders for the company. So these biases which are creating problem for the intelligent people. Peer pressure, the pressure from superiors. The organization culture may not be unethical, but certain times what happens? Let's say two people who have joined together. One person, let's say the product manager, or let's say the HR manager, or let's some manager. He or she doesn't want to do any unethical. But the peer certain times keeps pressurizing. ये कर लो ना, ये sign कर दो इसमें यार, इसमें sign कर दो. Please, you sign on this one. What is going to happen to you? It's a big company. कुछ नहीं होगा. Maybe on the day one you may not sign, day two you may not sign, but in the course of time, since there is a tremendous pressure, consistent pressure on you, you can do the unethical practice. You can sign on that contract. You can sign on that that pass, but the product is going to be launched. If the product is bad, it's coming back to the company, and you are the person who are going to be screwed up. Certain times you have joined as a product manager or some manager, your higher authority boss is there. Your boss would be telling you, क्या रे भाई तुम इसको अभी तक sign नहीं किया, कर दो sign. So that means you are the person, you are the decision maker. On your shoulder, he is shooting someone else. So over here, the pressure would be consistent once again. And certain times under this pressure, we create certain kind of ethical breakdown. Quick success and gain favorable attention. Many times you must have seen, many people simply dream in the night. Oh, मैं CEO बन गया, मैं executive बन गया, vice president बनना चाहता हूँ. Why all such things within no time? Everything has its own way, everything has its own time. But some people start dreaming, daydreaming, to quickly have this success and gain favorable attention. Because of that, certain types of unethical practices, people are involved. Overconfidence, I don't care, nothing would happen to me. Because I know certain political people, or I know certain FDA officials who turn the table on my own way. or who would I would bribe them some lakhs and crores of rupees, they would change the whole thing. That means you are thinking about the future. Future is uncertain. You pay to that FD official. That FD official left that job. Let's say went to China or let's say some other country. What you would do? So this overconfidence which could be coming to a particular person because of the power, because of proximity of with some big people, or could be the background support, academic background, or some kind of royal background, or some background of US, UK, or some kind of certain times so overconfidence. Existing organizational culture. If the culture is something unethical, you people do some unethical. Even if you are ethical from the heart, मैं कुछ अनएथिकल काम करने वाला नहीं हूं ये कंपनी में. I'll do something great for the company, but after 5 days you will be doing some unethical things, passing these that lot of things. Rationalization, we make a lot of rationalizations in a day-to-day life after doing unethical. ये हर कोई करते हैं. To do business in this society, bribing is a must. Without bribe you cannot do anything. ये पूरा false perception है. And with that false perception, we start doing unethical and we start defending that one. Trying to conform to law only. As you know, if you go back into the law, the legal domain, the rules are very few, denumerable. If I use that word, denumerable, it means countably infinite. But before that one, if you treat your employees unfairly, if you treat your customers unfairly, and after that you will be looking into law. ये इसके लिए law क्या है निकालो इसके लिए law क्या है निकालो. Why are you worried about all such things? If you are doing something ethical and along with that one certain laws and regulations which are over there, you are perfectly fine. And the last one, different other things which are there, but I'll stop over here. So that means these are the ethical breakdowns which are happening over there. There are many other ethical breakdowns through my research I found out. These ethical breakdowns are the problems for the person concerned, for the intelligent people. And because of that, what happens? The business organization doesn't have the potential to see the wonderful things. And because of that, ethics is to be taken seriously, and ethics should be taken in a very religious way whenever you do something in the context of business organization or any organization in a day-to-day life. So thank you all and have a wonderful time. So there could be certain questions I could see.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, should I read out the questions for you? We might not be able to cover all, but with possibility of time,
one or two can be. Yes. Maybe till 11:45 we can go up to.
Okay, sir.
Whatever questions I could take into, I would be so happy.
Okay, sir.
So you please take one by one.
Sir, Dr. Shivakumar says that what is the role of Competition Act 2002, Information Technology Act 2008, and Consumer Protection Act 2019 in the field of business ethics in India? I think they act as and they create good business environment in India.
Yeah. I agree with Dr. Saab that laws are there. As you know, laws are to be enforced. If laws are not enforced properly, and if you are following the laws, you will be kept aside. And secondly, laws will be there. And you must have seen that in each business organization, there is a department called legal department. Their job only to open the book, look into the rules and regulations. Their job is everyday that. But what I'm trying to say, that is okay. You look into the laws and regulations which are protecting you. Before that, the small things which we can do to our customers, our employees. For example, let's say in a day-to-day life, employees are there. Instead of saluting, let's say I'm the manager, namaste. Zarurat nahi hai. Before that, you treat him back as if his health condition is bad, you give him a kind of pat, or give him some water or medicine or so on and so forth. This is more than required what is expected in the law. Law won't tell you give him medicine, give him a cold water bottle or a normal water bottle. Law, all these things won't tell. This is completely up to the person concerned. So that means at the end of the day, we are dealing with a human being. Be it a customer, be it an employee, be it a client organization, everywhere we're dealing with a human being. If we deal that human being in a very good way, that's the ethics. Nothing else.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dr. B. Salvavera says, why might ethics sometimes be challenging for businesses?
First of all, I think you could see the point over here, existing organizational culture. I'm taking you to over there. If the organizational culture is something unethical completely, I think in this context, I would request you all to watch that movie called Corporate. There is a Hindi movie called Corporate. I think Bipasa Basu is the main protagonist in that given movie. You watch that movie, you would learn a lot of things what I discussed today. So what I'm trying to say here, if the organizational culture is something unethical and you have become, let's say, a big hero over there or a kind of change agent, it doesn't have an impact at all. You cannot do anything. Where you would start with, what you would start with. At least you can have an influence on your peers. भैया ये मत करो, ये जो पियोन आ रहा है ना, ये पियोन के साथ ठीक से व्यवहार करो भाई. Just small things we can do. And if the organizational culture is something like that, you just imagine you cannot breathe out properly. And given that condition, my suggestion is that there is a principle in the context of business ethics called principle of exit. If the culture is something which is unethical, my clear-cut suggestion, my heartly suggestion to the person concerned to leave that company. Because the situation will come, you will be used as a scapegoat. Company will go out or the organization will go out and will tell that sir ये जो बंदा ना यही चोरी कर रहा था, हमें कुछ नहीं किए. So that means we have to be ethical to a particular certain extent, and we find that and we have proof that the organization is not appreciating that one, rather doing something every time or other unethical practice, we have to leave that company in the time frame, in the context of time. Yes, please.
Thanks, sir. Sir, can you differentiate between price gouging and market skimming?
Price gouging, market skimming, the method is same, context is different. Price gouging happens in the context of, let's say, natural calamity, where you do not have control at all. Because I cannot say मैं कल दिल्ली में फ्लड कराऊंगा, I cannot say. Or I cannot say that in Simla I'm going to start with this kind of cyclone with 150 km/h. I do not have any control. What I have control upon, the item what I'm selling. If I'm selling that with an exorbitant price, which is not the price of the product, cost of the product, that's called price gouging. Coming to the market scamming, what is happening? I'm coming up with a new product, wonderful product. And I know that there is a big demand in the market of that kind. What I'm doing, instead of charging 15 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, which is the price of the product, I'm charging 1,000 rupees. Because those customers need that by any means. I have proved that. So that means the context is different. The method is more or less same, and both are unethical.
Thank you, sir. So I'll just take one last question.
Okay.
It's a little subjective in nature, though. Sir, do you advocate that all successful businesses are ethical businesses?
Almost all, I would say. I won't say all 100%, but almost all. A number of examples I have. I could have, if there would have been a in-person session, I could have talked to you who are the companies and what are the companies, what they are doing. I'll tell you one story since we are just ending up with, if there's no other question, how ethical thing happens and how ethical thing can be done. I'll tell you one life story true story, what one of my students was sharing. He was sharing he joined as a product manager in a company. Just imagine how ethics is difficult but not impossible. Ethics is difficult to bring you sustainability. It's not impossible. Only you have to open your eye, open your mind, think out of the box. If you have the potential to think out of the box, you can do. So this product manager joined a company, and this company produces Excels for the trucks and buses. Okay. So you could say it's in the context is B2B, business to business. I'm not talking about B2C, business to customer. B2B context, and over here, this product manager joined after MBA. So and the company gives him the responsibility that we have to produce Excels for the client organization because they're demanding 100 Excels or so. So this product manager with his team of 7 engineers and 1 assistant manager, so they produced around 50% of the shipment. Okay, after producing 50%, it is ready to be delivered to the client organization. One day, all of a sudden, he has a doubt. He was there in his cabin. He started doubting. So me Excel there. The Excels what we are providing, delivering to my client organization, does it have the right kind of quality? Does it satisfy all the specifications? So once again, he requested his team to go for another round of check, a road check. But these guys, the engineers and the assistant manager, were completely reluctant. Sir, kya ye bakwas laga ke rakhe? We have already done 50% is ready. Now we are going to go back. Sir, we cannot do. So what they did, this guy, they informed to the higher authority of this given person. So this guy, what he has to do, what he did, he hired 3 engineers from outside because he didn't find any help from these engineers. He had 3 engineers from outside and 2 engineers from inside, altogether 5 engineers. After hiring these 5 engineers, he made a team. He went for another round of check. After checking, he found the Excels, if it is used or if they are used in heavily loaded vehicle, there's a chance it would bend. He was so happy. At the same time, he was so angry. At the same time, so much enthusiasm because he's going in the path of ethics. So what he did, he came back to the previous team. आप लोग मुझे झूठ बोल रहे थे. The Excels what he produced is having problem. So what he did, he went to his boss and the vice president. Sir, ये जो Excel है इसमें problem है. The vice president was telling him, if we don't deliver the product, means we are not matching the time frame what exactly they have expected, the client organization. So they would think that we do not have ability to produce and so on and so forth. A lot of stories the president and his boss is talking about. But once again, as I said with you, ethics is very difficult, but not impossible. So what this guy did, he made them understand again and again through different arguments, through different discussions, over tea, over coffee, over this, that. So in the end of this process, it took a long time, maybe some days. So these 2 seniors told him, okay, half-heartedly, you go to the client organization, give a presentation to them. If they agree upon what you're saying, you do not have any problem. He went to the client organization, gave a wonderful presentation, along with telling them the problems which the Excels could be having. We have given you that wonderful Excels, but the Excel could be having this problem. And the specific and this problem you didn't inform us. I found out because of my own research. So what happens? The client organization got shocked. The problem ho sakta hai. The customers, the end consumers would file complaint against the company. So what happens? They delayed the production process once again. So the client organization was so happy. First of all, they were not happy at the one moment. Some executives went away with anger. क्या बकवास लगा के रखे हो? You are supposed to be delivering the first 50%. Now you are saying that we have to redesign, reprocess the Excels. But somehow he made the client organization understand the 50% are ready. If you want to, you can take it. But you don't blame us later, because we are telling you the fact what you are going to face in the future. So the client organization got shocked, and at the same time influenced what this guy is saying. So they told this guy, okay, you go back and produce, redesign. What this guy did, he had, along with those independent engineers, some more engineers, some more workers, redesigned those 50 Excels, gave them what exactly he was thinking. So when this client organization found this guy is really wonderful and the company is wonderful, they gave him another contract. Along with that client organization, two more people, two more companies also gave contract to this organization. What exactly is happening over here? It could have been ended up with giving the Excel as it is, but this person is ethical. As I said with you, if you are going in the ethical path, it is difficult certain times. But you have to think out of the box. You have to be really, really, really intelligent. Then only you could succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of Ramanujan College, I once again extend a warm thanks to you. And you beautifully elaborated all the concepts with, day-to-day examples that we can all relate with. We look forward to hearing from you, sir, in some other sessions too. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great pleasure to be part of this particular session. And I thank you all and all the participants. I could see 186 or so participants are there. So have a great time, enjoy, and wishing you a great day, wonderful days ahead. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants.
So you can get in touch with me. My email ID is already there on my website, and whatever things you can ask me. Okay. So I'll wind up over here, and I would leave the session.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.